let's be real. Women love the bad boy. And if you're a nice guy or a heart-centered guy like myself, that probably pisses you off. Now, maybe you do everything right. You text her back, you're there for her, you're emotionally available, but for some reason you're still getting overlooked or you're friend-zoned. While the bad boy, he doesn't respect her, right? He treats her like crap. He doesn't text her back. He flirts with her friends, yet he gets all the women's attention. Now, in today's video, we're gonna take a look at why that is. And we're gonna look at 6 things the bad boy does in a negative way that attracts women. But then we're gonna look at the energy behind those things. What makes those things work? And when you strip that away, when you strip away the energy from the technique, you're gonna realize that you can do it in a positive way that not only serves you, but serves her. You don't have to be the a-hole. You don't have to be the bad boy. And when you do it the right way, you're gonna get more confident women than the bad boy ever could. Now, before we get started, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss a video. And that's pretty much it. Let's dive in. Let's look at those 6 behaviors the bad boy does that make him so damn attractive. And then let's tear him apart and look at the energy behind him so you could take on that energy without sacrificing being a nice guy. And honestly, like I said before, this gets you more confident and more attractive women than the bad boy ever could when you get this right. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you one bonus idea or principle that makes all this work. If you don't get this one piece, it's hard to get the rest to work. And this one piece really ties it all together. And I think it's one of the most important pieces that confident, solid, attractive men master or have to get good at to really make this stuff work. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, what is the first thing? The first thing is negging. You probably remember negging from the old pickup days or the red pill days if you were into that. Negging is this simple principle that if you get a really hot girl, or you get a really cocky girl, you get a confident girl, you got to knock her down a peg. You got to like put a chink in her armor so she can get attracted to you. The principle is let's reduce her self-esteem a little bit so she can be attracted to me. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. Why do I want to knock somebody down or bring down their self-esteem so I can feel attractive, so she can get attracted to me? It's a weird idea, right? And I get the principle behind it. The principle behind it is she's being arrogant. We gotta get her to soften a little bit or feel it a little bit. And whereas I get the idea, I want to look at it a little differently. Let's look at it from your nice guy, your heart-centered guy perspective. And that perspective is simple. Women and men flirt by jousting, by playing, by being playful. It's not something you do to bring somebody down a bit. It's something you do to play. Think of yourself on the when you're with a girlfriend when you're young and a guy's wrestling on the floor and there's that sense of wrestling going on and she's giggling and she's laughing. Maybe you're pinning her to the floor, but she still loves it. That's the base principle behind it. She wants to feel your confidence. She wants to feel that you can handle her. She wants to feel your masculine power. And jousting back and forth is really fun. You see it in movies all the time. People love to play, calling her a dork, teasing her, telling her she's being a pain in the ass. But at the same time, your heart's opening and you're smiling. In a nag, you're kind of closing your heart and you're being a real asshole. You're shutting off on her and you hit something hard, you pull back and you get her to chase her. But in playful banter and teasing and being cocky funny in the right way, you're actually keeping your heart open. You're looking at her in the eyes and you're saying, you know what, I don't think I like you much. But you can feel the incongruency in that. You're such a dork. Why do you act that way? Come here, come here, come here. Wait, go away. I changed my mind. I don't want to talk to you anymore. That playfulness is powerful. And when you keep your heart open, that playfulness really conveys a lot. Where guys get it wrong is they can't feel. They can't feel their emotions. We're going to talk more about that later. They shut down and wall off emotionally. And then they try to be playful, and it just comes across as awkward or weird. So mastering playfulness as a way of flirting and dancing and playing because it's fun for both of you is the way I want you to look at it. Stop looking at it as I need to reduce her self-esteem or to get her to like me. Because honestly, if you have to do that to a woman, that's probably not the right woman for you anyways. Okay, what is number 2? Let's dive into number 2. Number 2 is not responding on purpose. Like bad boys will just ignore a woman. Say, in the pickup community, they would teach you to do that. Like just ignore her, make her chase. She begins to like you. Now, there is a caveat to that. You do have to get her interested first, then you ignore her to get her a little insecure, to get her to chase you. And you hear that insecurity thread going again, right? But it's really not about insecurity. If you're a really confident man, you don't need a woman to feel insecure to like you. What you do instead is you go get a real life. You go out and you make guy friends. You get hobbies. Maybe you play basketball. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're into doing charity work. You have adventures. You have stuff that you're doing that's important to you. If you have stuff that you're doing that's important to you, she will feel that part of you that is very busy. And when you don't call her back, she'll understand. It's not that you're not going to call her back. It's that right now I'm in the middle of something. I'll call you in a little bit. And you hold that boundary. And you do it because it's real. If you're doing it as a technique and you're ignoring her as a technique, they feel it. Oddly enough, that stuff tends to come through. If it doesn't come through right away, it comes through eventually. And if it does work on attracting a girl, it's probably because she's insecure. But when a woman knows you have a purpose greater than her and greater than yourself, and you're out there living your life and going after your mission as a man, she loves it. She gets it that you're busy. She gets it that you've got things to do, and it actually turns her on. He's making time for me, even though he's got all these important things he's doing. So I love to teach men to get a life. Like, I love snowboarding, and I moved up by a ski resort, and I'd go out and snowboard every day. I don't have time to text a girl back when I'm on the mountain. I'm on my mission, right? Or when I was on the yacht for a week just recently out in Egypt, learning to kiteboard with friends. There's no internet access. I'm going to be unavailable for a week, and I told a girl that. I'm not going to be around much. And I'll get a little bit of access here and there, and we can chat. But right now, this is my mission. This is also part of my business. I was giving talks on the yacht and speaking to people about energetic embodiment. That's who I am. And that's part of what makes you attractive, too. When you have a purpose greater than her, don't make her your purpose. Get busy because you're really busy. Now, number 3, let's dive into that one. Number 3 is all about being overly sexual. You see, a lot of bad boys are overly sexual. They're really forward sexually, and that makes nice guys uncomfortable. And sometimes nice guys try to go out and compensate by doing the same thing. I'm going to force myself to be overly sexual, but it comes off awkward or weird or creepy. So you see 2 different types of guys out there. You see the guys that are overly sexual, and for some reason women respond. And as a nice guy, I couldn't understand that back in the day. I thought that was like rude. Or wrong. And then I see the guys that are overly sexual that are creepy. The girl's like, why is he touching me? Oh my God, he's weird. He's creepy. Let's take a look at what's going on there. Well, for the creepy guys. The creepy guys, they're lecherous. They're leaning in with their turn on. They get turned on. They feel the turn on. They bring it up here and they're like, hi, how are you? What's your name? Oh yeah, you're really pretty. And there's this leaning in energy, stalking energy, right? Creepy as fuck, right? And so I want to invite you to, if that's you, to do some work to heal that. See, becoming really good with sexual energy is not about leaning in on a woman. There's nothing wrong with you being sexual, being turned on, liking sex, appreciating sex, and even talking about it when you just meet a girl when you're out. If that's who you are really, it's okay. But you got to do it in a way where you're not being lecherous or creepy. That's what the bad boys get. If I say I like sex, I like sex. I don't have to lean my energy into her. I could lean in and go, wow, sex is really awesome. Or I can lean back and go, yeah, fuck yeah, sex is awesome. I love sex. Or I could say, hey, I just met a girl. We're on a first date and we're getting a little naughty. And I'm like, oh, tell me about one of your fantasies. And that's okay. But if I'm like leaning in that creepy energy again and tell me about your fantasies, what do you really like to do? And I start adding that weird tone to it. No, it's like casual conversation. And this brings me to a simple principle. If you are trying to be sexual and you're adding an emphasis to it, why do you like that? Tell me more about that. When you've just met somebody, that is creepy. But if you're like, why do you like that? Tell me more about that. That's cool. With curiosity, like a little kid that loves cookies and he wants to put his, I love cookies, or, I love dancing, or whatever it is that you love, then that is normal. Just be normal. Sex is normal. Having a beer is normal. And it's all really cool. Now, when you do that, something beautiful happens. When you get really good at this is really powerful. You begin to set women free. You see, when you're comfortable with sex and you don't make it wrong, you don't make her wrong for having sex or wanting sex or liking sex, and you begin to set her free. What do you like? Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Tell me more about that. Why do you like that? Why do you have that fantasy? Then something happens. She starts to realize you're not bothered by her sexual ability, her turn on. You're not uncomfortable with it. You're very comfortable with it. it's normal for you. And that begins to give her permission to be more open and sexual with you, to be more open and comfortable talking about sex with you or exploring fantasies with you. And that is powerful when you think about it. Wouldn't you love for a woman to say, wow, I feel so comfortable sexually around you? Matter of fact, you let me dive into things that I never thought about diving into before. It's really cool. Or you've helped to heal some of my sexual wounds, which I've had people say that to me too. And some of my clients too have said that about, I said they've got that from women too. So let that idea in. Get comfortable with sex. Do the therapy, do the deeper work to resolve your attachments, your cravings, your aversions, your fears, your shame, and just start to see it as a normal, healthy part of life. Okay, let's dive into number 4. But before we do, I want to do a quick commercial. I have got something amazing coming up. In October, the beginning of October, we're looking at doing a cruise. I've rented out a whole yacht in Croatia where we're going to visit different islands. We're going to hang out together. You get to do sports if you want, like paddleboard and snorkeling. We have a big sauna on the boat, and it's a whole boat just to ourselves. We're going to really bond, have breakfast together, dinners together. If that's something you're interested in, then definitely check out the link in this description. Not only are we going to do all this stuff in the morning, and we're going to have a nice time together in the evening and really enjoy this private yacht together, we're also going to have afternoon classes. Every afternoon, after lunch, we're going to sit down and do energetic work, embodiment work, different types of work like I talk about in these videos. We're going to dive into your consciousness and what goes on inside your body as you become more embodied. And we're going to do demos and video feedback. We talk on tension, sexuality, energetics, masculinity, whatever you guys want to talk about. And it's going to be an amazing program. It's only limited to 30 people that want to take the trip. It's 3 nights, 4 days. And it's all inclusive except for lunch because you're going to be out on the islands exploring during lunch. And to me, this is super exciting. This is something new for me, something I experienced when I did my trip to Egypt for the kiteboarding. And I said, I've got to do this myself. I got to put something on like this myself. So if this is something you're interested in, click the link in the description, learn more. There'll be a whole webpage talking about this stuff. And I can't wait to meet you in person on the boat. Now let's get started. Number 4. Number 4 is making her jealous. Bad boys do that on purpose. They go out of their way to make women jealous. They know it gets them attracted. It's, again, this manipulation tactic. What can I do to get her jealous? I'll let her see me talking to this girl, or I'll let her see a couple women's items in my house. I know guys that would do that. They would have a basket by the door with a scarf in it or something else. And this is their way of letting women know that they're seeing other women or that they like other women. And this could piss women off, but bad boys are very comfortable with women being pissed. So they just let the women be pissed, and the women have to deal with it, and it gets them more attracted, especially if the woman's a little more insecure and really likes this guy. Now, let's take it a step deeper. Let's look at it a little bit deeper from the good guy perspective. From the positive perspective, if you don't think of it as getting a woman jealous, but you think of it as, I have a life and I'm going to invite you into my life, and I'm hyper social, I'm outgoing, or I like to say hi to people, I like to make people smile. And we go out on our first date, and the first thing I do is I say hi to people as we're talking. I joke with the waiter. I see the barista, I make her smile. How's your day going? I do this on a regular basis, and she sees me being social, not just with women, but with men too. She starts to realize, I'm a cool guy. I'm a guy that gets it. I'm a guy that cares about people, and that's very attractive to women. She might also get a little jealous naturally because, wow, I could see where all these women would want to date a guy like this or want to be around a guy like this because he's socially popular. People like to talk to him. A lot of people text him. And that can make her very attracted. But at the same time, she doesn't have any space to say, you need to stop talking to everybody else. Because if she does, she's insecure, and you know that, and you want to let her go. And if you do this really well, and I'm looking for the right words here, you do this, I'm going to give you a story here in a second to demonstrate this. If you do this really well, she's going to realize that if I want to be with this guy, I have to be comfortable with him being a really social guy, an attractive guy. And a lot of women love that. I used to have a girlfriend many years ago, and she loved to watch me flirt with other women. It made her feel like she had a solid man. It really turned her on. My friend Zan is the same way. You probably know who Zan Perrione is. If you don't, he's a men's dating coach. And it's the same thing. When he met his wife, and this is any girl he dated, he'd always let them see him being flirty and outgoing with everybody, flirting with lots of women, flirting with lots of men, joking with men, making friends with men. And she had to accept that part of his life to be in a relationship with him. And the beautiful thing is, she did. Not only did she do it, she loved it too. She was a very confident woman, and she said, I don't worry about it. If he cheats on me, it just means something about him. It means nothing about me, and I don't think he'll ever cheat on me. And they have this amazing relationship. And the one thing that's very important is when he does this, he's very social, he's very flirty, he's outgoing. He never lets anybody else come between him and his woman. Him and his woman are number one, and that's why she's comfortable with it. That's why she loves it so much. When he's with her or when he's in the house and we're all hanging out having a house party and she walks through the room, he's like, look at you in that dress, baby. You look amazing. Spin around for me. I want to see you. Or when she walks in the room and he's been socializing and talking to everybody all night and we're at a bar and she shows up a little late, he sees her, he's like, baby, come here, give me a kiss, and pulls her right in. He says, I never let her feel like some woman's going to get between me and her. That's why she's comfortable with me talking to other women, and that's why she likes it. So think about that for a minute. That's powerful when you think about it. And I think it's a great frame to come from. And it also sets you up early. She knows who she's going to be with, and she has to accept that. And if she's got a lot of insecurities in that area, it weeds her out. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is saying no. Bad boys love to say no, and they're really good at it. And it's a powerful thing to do, to be honest. I think even nice guys really need to learn this. They love to say no a lot. And sometimes I think they just say no to be saying no, to set that boundary, because boundaries are so important. Women love the boundaries. They love it when a man can say no to them. Think about it. If you're a hot woman and you're out there and every guy is catering to you all the time, where do you want to go to dinner? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want a present? Let me get that for you. And I'll take care of whatever I need to take care of to be around you. That's what he's saying. I'll buy you whatever you want. I'll give you whatever you want, because that's the power hot girls have over men. And when she meets a man that can say no to her and isn't affected by her beauty, she actually gets more attracted. Now I have a man I can actually talk to and relate with. And that's powerful. When she can sit there and be human with him, and he doesn't get distracted, is a better way to put it. He doesn't get distracted by her hotness. He can still enjoy it. He can appreciate it. He can say, damn, baby, you're hot. Look at you. But at the same time, he's not going to relinquish on his boundaries. That's powerful. So saying no is powerful. There's probably places in your life with friends and with women you just don't say no. So as a nice guy, learning to say no, I'm not going to go do X with you this weekend. I'm busy. And you don't need a reason for it. Or no, I'm not buying you that. I know you want it, but it's not in the budget right now. Or no, I don't like that restaurant. I don't want to go there. Let's find another one we both like. Or no, I don't want to see that movie. It's really powerful, because when you do say yes, it means something. Yeah, let's do that. Or baby, I love to see you smile. You like that restaurant? Let's go to that restaurant. Because now you're not saying yes because you want to win her over, just because you want to win her over, just to make her happy, but because you actually care, because your yes means something, because you're not afraid to say no. And I really want you to let that sink in. And this is not just important with the beautiful women. This is important with all your friends, with everybody. This is important for breaking the nice guy. And matter of fact, all of this is important for breaking the nice guy. Okay, what's number 6? The last one on our list before we get to the bonus. Number 6 is interrupting. Interrupting is so powerful. And I don't mean interrupting to be rude. I don't mean interrupting constantly. That's what the bad boys do. Just interrupt, ignore her, blow her off. But if you get good at interrupting, then you can really steer conversations deeper. It's not something you do all the time. It's something you do when it's important. It's something you do when it means something. When I'm listening to a woman talk, if I hear something deep in her tone, like she's sharing about some things she loves to do, and then she comes across maybe painting or singing or something like that. She says something about how much she loved painting as a child, and then she moves on, but I hear the emotion in there, this little moment of emotion. I'm going to ask about that. I'm going to go, whoa, wait up, go back. I want to hear more about that. About what? The painting. Well, it's just painting. No, tell me more. And she starts to tell you more, and she starts to open up more emotionally. That is powerful. Now you really are a man that can listen and can hear and can feel her. Sometimes they don't even know they have emotion on that sentence. They gloss over it. You bring them back, and then something opens up inside of them. It's powerful. This works with men and women. I had a client years ago who was talking about painting, and he was talking about a line in a painting, and we stopped him as a group of us. We all heard that. Tell us about that line. What do you mean? He was like, it's just a line in a painting. And he went back, started talking about it, and he got really emotional. And as he dug in deeper, he realized he hadn't painted in years, since high school, actually, and he missed painting. And so he went back to painting after that and hasn't stopped. Today he has a gallery in Miami, his own gallery, his own art, his own showings of art at gallery showings. It's amazing to see the difference in his life. It really was probably one of the most pivotal questions we could have asked him that day, because it changed the whole directory of his life. So interrupting at the right moment is powerful. Also interrupting to set boundaries. Like if somebody's talking here, somebody's talking there, everything's going on, and saying, oh, hold on, stop. I'm listening to her right now. It really shows confidence. Or, hold on, let me take care of the waiter really quick. I'll be right back. It shows that you can, as a man, be fully present here, and you can direct that energy. Another reason to interrupt is when a woman is incessantly talking. Because when someone or a woman is incessantly talking, they're probably nervous, and they talk to fill space. And if you think about it in childhood or with their best friends, their friends had to interrupt to get words in edgewise. Otherwise, they would have never shut up. And if you just let them ramble, and I've done this, sitting there, okay, she must really like me. She won't stop talking, but I can't get a word in edgewise. What happens? Well, eventually she just loses interest because you never interrupted. You never showed real interest. So when you got somebody that's an incessant talker saying, stop, wait, I want to share about that, and you share something that relates to what they said, or you say, no, tell me more about that, or hold on a minute, let me talk to the waiter, and then come back, and you can lead the conversation like a conductor leads an orchestra. That's powerful. And that's ultimately what you're learning to do here with interrupting. You're learning to interrupt at the right moment, to deepen conversation, to lead conversation, to conduct conversation. You don't want to be doing it all the time. You want to be doing it at the right moment because you're really listening. Okay, awesome. That's our list of 6, and hopefully you enjoyed that list. I do have one more bonus for you, though, and I promised you that I was going to give you this bonus, and I think this is the thing that makes everything work. So let's dive in. This one is about being in feeling, having your heart open when you're talking, when you're flirting, when you're interrupting, when you're conversing. If there's no feeling, embodiment in your body, sometimes I call it vulnerability, but strong vulnerability, this ability to feel emotions, then it doesn't matter. None of this stuff works anyways. Or if it works, it only works on insecure women. Like a lot of the bad boys will get a lot of insecure women if they're real assholes. Now, how does this work? When you look at this deeper, this works because when I say you're a dork and I'm teasing you, there's vulnerability. My heart's open. She can feel deep down inside that I'm there, I'm present. When I listen, I can hear those emotions when she interrupts. The key to listening is the vulnerability walks, the vulnerability talks, is letting energy in so you get an emotional read. Wow, she's really sad right there. Or she lets you let her in so she can feel you feel, because she literally does. That's what women do. They're feeling into you all the time. When she can feel you feel her, it's really sexy for her. When she can feel you feel the moment and feel what's going on around, so you can keep each other safe, right? You're creating a nice container while you're talking to her. That's powerful for her. When she can feel you get turned on, but you're not needy or not creepy about it. You're just in your body and you're turned on and you're enjoying it and you're letting her in and she can feel that coming through your body. That's powerful for her. That's what feeling's about. My teacher used to tell me years ago when I first got with him, Brian, you're so in your head, you're above your head, and therefore you can't feel, and that's why you're having trouble in business, with women, and with life. This is like the number one key to becoming better at pretty much everything for people that are stuck in their head, that are completely dissociated from their body. And the key here is embodiment. When you can feel and you're unaffected by the feeling, that's powerful. And that's the next part of this. It's so important. When I start learning to feel people's emotions and my own emotions, but I'm not controlled by them, they don't throw me off. My sadness doesn't make me stop and go, I got to sit in my existential angst today. That's neediness. Or when she gets sad, I don't get reactive, or she gets angry, I don't take it personal. I sit back and let it in and go, yeah, let it in, baby. That is powerful. That's what feeling's about. It's your ability to read people. It's your ability to read the situation, not take it personal, not let your emotions own you. And that's when a man's truly powerful. That's like you're a lightning rod. And that draws women in like crazy. Now, I'm going to give you a short story to illustrate this. I've told this story before on the channel, but I think it's a powerful story. I had a girlfriend, and she was awesome. And one day I came over. She's this beautiful Colombian girl. And she looked at me and she said, she was feeding me a beautiful Colombian meal. And she said, Brian, we need to talk. And I was like, what? I could feel that. I could feel the feeling, the emotions that I was feeling her come in, and I could feel the concern in her body. So I was like, okay, something's important here. So I put down my fork and I said, yeah. And I looked at her and I let her in. And she goes, well, sometimes I think you don't really want to be with me. And I said, what do you mean? I think maybe you just want me for my body or for my looks. And I sat there and I let that in. I let all the feeling come into my heart. I let it come into my stomach, where you get gut instincts. Gut is a second brain. And I sat with that feeling. And she was looking at me and she goes, what? Because I had been sitting there for a few seconds. And I said, I'm just taking in what you're saying. I just want to feel it for a moment. Instead of getting reactive, trying to defend, trying to explain, no, you're wrong, I took it all in. And I'd been trained in feeling for a while at this point, so I kind of understood what was going on. And then suddenly it hit me. It was like an epiphany, because it went through the supercomputer of the body. It went into my heart where I could feel emotions, went into my gut where I get gut instincts to tell me what to do. And I listened to that rather than my logic that's in my head. This is why embodiment is so important, and energetic embodiment even more so. And as I heard that, I said, in my mind, I heard a little voice go, she is feeling like you don't care because you have been distracted all week. You've been stressing over something in your business. And when you went to the movies the other day, you were thinking about it. When you went to dinner, you were thinking about it. Because in my mind, I was going, I haven't even tried to get you into bed this week. What are you talking about? I just want you for your body. And it was really bizarre. I was like, I'd been distracted, and I hadn't been trying to have sex with her because I was distracted. So deep down inside, she felt unloved. She felt unwanted. She felt I didn't really care about her. And it hit me really quickly. I was like, this is obvious. So I looked at her again and I smiled. I opened up, let her in more. We call that letting her in. And I said, come here. And she went, okay. And she came over and I sat her down on my lap, smiled, looked at her. And then I stood back up. I think I stood back up after that, picked her up, walked her into the bedroom, like carrying her in my arms, threw her onto the bed, jumped on the bed with her, and just sat there and held her and let her in. Now think about that for a minute. That's the opposite of what logic or the old me would have done, right? What a lot of people would have done. But I did that because I knew what she needed most of all was connection. The number one solution to a lot of your problems with women is the ability to let them in and connect with them. That's what they need 90% of the time. Let her in, feel her, be present with her. And you know what? That problem went away and she never brought it up again. She loved it. She loved it that I picked her up and threw her on the bed, because that was the exact right thing to do. I wasn't doing it to have sex with her. I was doing it to connect with her, to feel her, to be 100% present with her, to let go of the delicious Colombian dinner, to let go of everything else that evening and just be with her for a minute. Now that's powerful when you think about it. And that's what makes all 6 of these work, when you get the energy behind them and you understand what's really going on there. See, bad boys often have to prey on insecure women that, and a lot of your hot women with plastic surgery and fake this and got to look perfect, they have certain insecurities and they're trying to play on that. But when you're a solid man, you don't have to prey on their insecurities. They will get insecure because you're so confident, because you're so solid, but you don't have to prey on it. Now, with that said, I want you to think about this. Write this statement down. Real men don't hide their hearts. They reveal them without flinching. That is powerful. That's when you're truly confident, when you can feel everything that's going on in your heart and not flinch. You might get sad, you might get hurt, you might get lonely, but you can handle it. I'm right here. That's a truly attractive man. So now, in closing, think about this. You don't have to be a dick. You don't have to be a doormat. There's something else. There's the truly confident man, the man that can feel, the man that's embodied. And that can be you. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my previous video. That was on embodiment, as well, the masculine embodiment video that I do. I do one of those usually about every 4 to 5 weeks. It's a powerful video. It'll be linked somewhere in the here, I don't know where. And remember, oh, definitely comment too. I definitely want your comment in this video. These comments are important. I check them out right away. Always the first week when they come out on Sunday, Monday, I'm checking them out. So with that said, remember, only the courageous really live. See you in the next video.